Hey there, welcome to Drew Bentley Guitar. For today's lesson, we're going to do rhythm guitar for Autumn Leaves, one of the greatest jazz standards of all time. We're going to start with some comping first, and then we'll do some piano technique. We'll do walking bass lines next, and stick around for the end so we can do some pretty chord versions of these chords. Let's take a look. We'll start with A minor 7 first. We'll be going through the first 8 measures. We'll go through the chords. We'll look at how to play them, how to construct them, where they come from, what they mean. We'll do 8 measures at a time as we go through this, and then we'll start going through the different types of rhythms. All right, so we're starting with A minor 7. This is a 6-4-3-2 form. It comes from the Cage system. It's actually this E minor form with some things eliminated. Here's how you play it. You roll your third finger to the right and wrap your second finger down here to the low E string. The next chord looks like this. It looks like a C chord, but we're adding our little finger to the G string. That's a dominant 7. The first one was minor 7. This is a G major 7. So it looks coming from this E Cage system form. As you can see, the A string has been eliminated, and I'm just going from the 5th fret down to the 4th fret there. Here's a low E3, B3, D4, and G4. G major 7. C major 7 is next. This guy looks like an A form, like this, but I'm playing a major 7 instead. This minor 7 flat 5 chord is sort of its own thing. It's actually 4 different chords, but I'm just doing 2 fingers on this fret, 2 fingers on this fret. I've chosen to do this 7 sharp 5 for the 5 chord. That looks like this. It's low E7, D7, G8, and B8. Then to minor 7 chord, this is barring all 5 strings. From the A string down, you have D, 9, and B8. So that sounds like this. If I play this with comping. So what comping is keeping a steady rhythm. I'm going to do it with my thumb first. That's kind of the Wes Montgomery thing. I take my pick and I just kind of tuck it under my finger. So basically you want to go would, you could, you would, you could, you would, you could, you would, you could. So I'm strumming down and I'm deadening on the way back up. And the way your rhythm syllable is going to work, the first one's longer on the way down, so it's like trippa, la, trippa, la, trippa, la, trippa, la. That's how you swing. You want to kind of dampen all the surrounding strings. And with these jazz chords, you don't want to play any open strings with them for the most part, because a lot of times jazz tunes are not in keys that will work with the open strings. Now, this tune, actually, everything works with the open strings because the guitar is basically an E minor 11 chord, so it kind of does work. But generally, if I play this down here, I call that a donkey chord. I'm not working with the open strings. So we have to kind of keep everything nice and tight. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now I can comp that with my pick also. Okay, so that's the first 8 bars of the piece. And then it's going to be repeated, so you play it twice, which makes it a total of 16 bars. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the next section, the middle section of the tune. Here's the chords for that. So then we're going to go back to this minor 7 flat 5, to this 7 sharp 5, to E minor 7 again, or we could try E minor 6 this time. Let's do that. That's a nice change. What that is A7, D5, G6, and B5. So it's like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor 7, 3, 4, D7, G major 7, and C major 7. So it's the same chords, but the order changed. It starts with a minor 7 flat 5, which is a minor 2, 5, 1. That shows the minor 6 chord this time like this. Then it goes A minor 7, D7, G major 7 to C major 7. So the same chords from before. All right. So if we wanted to comp that, it would sound like this. So while we're working through the tune here, let's introduce our next technique. We're going to do what I call the piano technique. You can do this with just your fingers if you want to, or you can hybrid pick with the pick in your hands and your fingers as well. If you don't know how to do any of that stuff, there's a couple lessons on the channel about finger picking. One's called Finger Picking Made Easy. That might be helpful for you. And there's also a finger picking blues lesson I just put out that could also help you with getting in the habit of doing this. I'm going to use my pick and fingers together. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the chord, but I'm plucking them all together at the same time. Like this and like this. And you have to match your right hand with what your left hand is doing. So in this minor 7 chord, I'm skipping the A string because my left hand's skipping the A string. Here I'm playing the middle 4 strings, skipping low E on this one, and then middle 4. So it looks like this. Now this piano technique thing is cool because it gives you a softer approach, and it's a different sound than strumming, so it's a whole different possible tone you can get. If I did it with my fingers, it would sound like this. I just put the pick down, doing the same thing. It's rounder if you use your thumb. And they're both good. Sometimes you find yourself without a pick, or sometimes you choose not to use the pick. So that's that. Now, if I want to do a slight little bass, I can go playing the bass note for each chord. Just going bass chord, bass chord, bass chord, bass chord, bass chord, bass chord. So that sounds like this. Okay, so that's another option with or without the pick. So I added a different technique in. We've gone through the first section twice, and then the mid section, like the middle section, they call it the middle 8. The Beatles call it the middle 8. It's kind of like the bridge of the song, I suppose. Now we're at the last 8 measures of the tune. Let's go through those. We have the minor 7 flat 5 again to this B7 augmented. Now I'm going to do this really cool walk down. I'm going to go like this. So you could do that with whatever chord voices you want to. I kind of like these. This is a minor 7. It's actually a C minor chord system form. To D sharp 7, D minor 7, to C sharp 7. Let's go through those together. It's A5 or A7, D5, and G7, B5. When you go down 1 fret, you just make the C chord with the little finger added to it. Take off your second finger, put your second finger back on it again. So it sounds like this. Do-dab, 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 do-dab. It goes back to the minor 2-5 again, and we'll get an end on the minor 6 chord because it sounds kind of cool, spooky sounding. All right, so that's the entire tune. That's the chord progression. I'll play through the whole thing now. First, I'm going to comp it, and then I'll do it with piano technique, and then we're going to get into some walking bass line stuff. So this is the minor 7 first. D7. And now I'll comp it with piano technique. So the song's constructed like this. A minor 7 is the 4 chord. We have a 2, 5, 1 to G, which is the 3 chord, and then C is the 6 chord, C major 7. So we have like minor 4, a 2, 5, 1 to the 6 chord, and this is a 2, 5, 1 to the 1 chord. So jazz is full of these 2, 5, 1s. 2, 5, 1. The 2 chord is minor, the 5 chord is dominant, 1 chord is major. In the case of a minor 7 chord, 2, 5, it's a minor 7 flat 5. This could be a 7 flat 9 if I wanted to play that, or I've chosen to play the augmented chord for this lesson because I kind of like that sound. So then we have the same thing again. We cycle through the first 8 measures again. And then there's the middle section. So the middle section is the bridge, another 2, 5, 1. And then we have the 4, the 1 chord, the 3 chord, the 6 chord of the key, 2, 5 again. And this is this chromaticism, this walk down here. It's a voice leading thing. It's like, it's the guide tones are walking down, you can hear them. It's just kind of working its way back to this chord. Everything works its way back to that chord again. You can hear the guide tones if I go. So it walks down, that's leading those chords back into home again, which is E minor 7. So that's the structure of the song, and we worked on comping it, and we worked on playing it with piano technique. Let's add some walking bass lines now. I'm going to do a bass line by moving up chromatically a half step above the chord that I'm going to, so it looks like this. I'm going to move down chromatically like that, and then up chromatically like this. It's a very simple concept. I'm going to go. This is working with a principle called Tritone Substitution, something we need to get into. If I do minor 7 like this, I can go to this D7 with a tritone in the bass. See, look what happens here. Here's the 7th chord. I'm going to take this note and put that in the bass. I'm going to replace. Bass and replace. D7, this goes here, bass and replace. So that's kind of what I'm doing with that bass line. So it kind of sounds right if I go. Now this diminished chord is another unique situation. The minor 7 flat 5 is its own animal. It's not a fully diminished chord that would look like this. Fully diminished is root, flat 3rd, flat 5th, double E flatted 7th like this. This is root, flat 3rd, flat 5, dominant 7, or just minor 7 in this case. So it's a minor 7 flat 5 chord. It's also a D9. It's also known as a half diminished, and it's also known as a diminished 7. It all depends on the application. There are different names for different applications. And what's neat about these chords is you can move them a minor 3rd, and they just repeat. So I can go like that if I want to kind of walk that. So I can go. And then E minor. Let's do this. Let's go. It's playing sort of a pentatonic idea, actually. Just low E7, low E10, A7, A10 to that. So here's what this sounds like. This time I'll throw the tritone substitution in. Now you can always do things later on as you grow, like playing an inversion. Here's the C major 7, I could do this instead. It's an inversion of that cage form. It's beautiful sounding. I can go like, throw in an inversion of that. You should learn to play your 7th chords across the entire guitar neck. There's a video on the channel I talk about playing the easy blues. Nothing is easy, but it's an introduction into how to take these chord forms, these seventh chords, and invert them up the guitar neck. My system has a total of 20 seventh chord forms for major, minor, and dominant. Well, dominant, major, and minor. Just for starters, to get moving. That's a really good thing to start to learn your seventh chords across the guitar neck. So we can play this in different places. I've chosen this minor seventh chord. I can play it here. I can play it here. Play lots of different places. I play D7 here. I can play it here. I mean, there's like so many different options you can play these chords. And so the more chords you know, the easier it is to do this. We're just kind of starting with these guys here. So let's do this. I'm going to add this note at the top. That's kind of nice sounding, right? Put the 9 at the top. So you can just kind of mix and match as you're doing this. And when you're learning your chords, more and more chords to learn. Let's go ahead and play the bass line through the whole thing, following these concepts. So that's kind of the idea, how you can do the simple idea of going a half step above, half step above, half step below, and walk through it that way. And that's kind of a really good introductory way to start doing these bass lines with the tune. I had mentioned at the beginning of the lesson we were going to do some really pretty chords with this. Because we're playing in the key of E minor, the open strings work really well. So if I play these chords with open strings, I can come up with some of the most beautiful chords like possible. So we'll start with this A minor 7 chord. I'm going to add an open B at the top, which is the 9 of that. So now it's a minor 9 chord. And I'm going to play this D7 chord. I'm going to throw in the B string and the high E string. Makes that a 13th chord. This is a G major 9. And I'm going to do a little trill there to a C major 7. I'm going to try this inversion of this like this. I was mentioning inversions. Okay, let's do the minor 7 flat 5 chord differently this time. Do this version. Play the 7 flat 9 chord. Listen to this. It's a B 7 flat 9. Oh, that's cool sounding. To an E minor 6 like we did before. So that sounds like this. So let's try some new ones. Let's do this minor 9 here down like this. I have the open B string. And for this D chord, let's leave the G string open. That's really beautiful. That's a sus. Major 7. Leave the open high E string at the top like this. And then this guy, let's play the C major 9 like that. And we'll add the open high E string, minor 7 flat 5. E7 flat 9, and we're going to play this really cool E minor 9 chord like that. Here's what this sounds like. We're going to do that chord like this at the top. I articulate when I pick. It's a different type of sound. That time I threw some open strings at the top of that one. twist my fingers instead. Notice for this time I'm not playing with any sort of rhythm at all. No sense of rhythm, just enjoying the chords. Purposely not trying to play to a certain rhythm, just letting it sing. It's a great way to get to know your chords by just listening to what you're playing, paying attention to the sounds that you're creating, without really thinking about having to keep a rhythm. It's kind of fun to just like play freely. This is the most beautiful chord ever I probably ever came up with. It's minor 9 like that. Awesome. Amazing. So those chords are beautiful. Thanks so much for watching today's lesson. Hopefully that was helpful for you to learn how to play rhythm for Autumn Leaves. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Plenty of lessons on their way. Catch you next time.